Yes, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. It's another chilled, fuzzy chat evening where we're going to kick back, relax, and talk absolute smack and shite and bollocks and whatever else we fancy chatting about because it is the equivalent of an open mic session. I am joined by a guest you have seen a few times before, perhaps on this channel and elsewhere in Wolfang Division. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. Good result for once from my team. Not complaining.
Absolutely. And first time on the Hot Plus 44 YouTube channel, we have Abs from the Football
Two full
Bands
debuts. I
channel.
was there for both.
How are we doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Mrs. is ruffling around doing something in the background, so apologies if you can hear any background noise. But yeah, I'm good, man. Making my debut. Hopefully, I'll score a hat trick today on the channel, but we're seeing it. Wolf might do a 2-footer, so I best be careful.
Might have to get Mama Flossie in here to be a VAR just to make sure that
Out,
make
man.
sure nothing.
Did you say out, man?
She's the referee. But everybody in the chat watching from wherever it is you are watching from, links to both of these guys' channels are in the stream title. It's hyperlinked, so you can literally just one click and hit that subscribe button. Turn notification bells on as well, because YouTube likes to do all sorts of tomfoolery and not tell anybody anything. So having your bell switched on, having your bell rung, if you will hopefully keep you up to date with whenever we go live and upload some contents and stick videos out on the interwebs for you. But we're going to start, as it is a United channel, about Manchester United topics, and one very key topic being a very, very big game tomorrow. 4:30 kickoff. The world will be watching. There's no other football matches.
Yeah.
Some bloody team from Merseyside. I don't know. They wear some red kit.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah?
Liverpool.
Big up, Carl.
Big up,
yes.
Rossi.
Oh, Rossi. Great to see you, man.
Yeah.
Hope everything is good with you.
Big T.
Big T in the building as well. Good to see you, man. Hope all is good with you. And Anthony Herbert. Can't remember the last time my bell was rang. Wow. Unless either one of you guys know when his bell was last rung, I think the
No
only
comment.
person who would be
comment. Whatever. Mind your own personal business.
Yeah,
not saying you definitely don't know, but you'll prefer not to comment.
Depends what bell he's talking about, doesn't it?
It might be the meaning that has might be the thing that has multiple meanings to it.
I'm in the doorbell. Never mind.
Got Big T saying the only bell we'll be hearing ring is when Liverpool lets us out tomorrow.
It is all over in this light heavyweight matchup.
Mate, they'll probably ask for a refund with how quick it would happen as well. They'll be like, what the fuck is this? It's like watching Jake Paul trying to box bloody, what's his face? Done him inside like the first round or like a couple of seconds. I'm like, bro, man went down like a sack of shit.
I'm sure there's boxing on tonight as well. Someone in Manchester is fighting.
There's UFC on tonight as well.
Is it? Who's that boxing tonight?
Ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong.
Didn't work on my show. Damn. Your doorbell didn't work on your show. I got to get some better soundboards.
You know what I mean?
But anyways, guys, Liverpool at Anfield versus Manchester United, a game for the ages. If we were living 10, 20 years ago, now it feels like it's more how much. It feels like we're talking more about how many goals Liverpool are going to score this time. Do you guys feel like the Manchester United-Liverpool rivalry is a little less intense, a little less fiery, because it's not really two teams constantly battling out at the top, chasing down Premier League titles, trying to one-up each other? Do you feel like that sort of rivalry's died down a little bit over the years, or do you feel like it's no different now than what it was back in the heydays. We'll start with
Go on,
you.
Vance.
Oh, me, yeah.
Oh,
We'll start with whoever.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Go for
okay.
it. Go for it.
For,
Pascal.
yeah, for me personally, I still think the rivalry is there. I do think. Can you hear any rustling in the background? Can you hear anything in the background?
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Sound cancellation is good.
Okay, that's cool.
yeah, I can. No.
Shut
Yeah.
it.
Anyway. Yeah. As I was saying, I still think there is a bit of rivalry between you guys. Maybe not more so in the competitive sense, but I still feel that, you know, obviously Liverpool are on the up at the moment. You know, they're the team. They've won Premier League. In the last 3-4 years, they've won a Champions League as well. I think Man United, although they finished third last season and they won a Carabao Cup, it's not the Man United that we know that's been successful throughout the years. I think the last game that you guys played where you lost to 7-0, that kind of like, it took a bit of stuffing out of, you know, the rivalry a little bit in terms of, well, do you know what? Even though we're the bigger team and most popular team than Liverpool, meaning United, you know, Liverpool are clearly a better team at the moment, and I'm talking on the pitch, maybe not globally, but on the pitch. So I think you guys know, yeah. I think you guys know. Oh man, I've got my daughters coming in and all that, shopping and all that.
It's cool.
Yeah, I think you guys know your places at the moment, and it's a case of, you know, I think that rivalry is still there. I still think the two clubs, yeah, because I've seen streams where Man United and Liverpool fans are still going at each other, but Man United can't really chat to Liverpool at the moment. You know, they can't really
Not
chat
at the moment.
Yeah, because of the position in the league and stuff like that. But I just feel tomorrow's game, if you guys can get something out of this game tomorrow, if it's a draw, I can see United fans, you know, perking up again, because, do you know what I mean? Liverpool are expected to win that game tomorrow, and we're going to go into the show a bit more and talk about, you know, like the game and stuff. But I still think there's a light rivalry. I don't think it's as maybe vicious as it used to be back in the Rooney days and stuff like that. But, and remember, you got to remember as well, the players as well, you know, the players make rivalries. And if you look at the Liverpool and Man United team, a lot of the players, even though they might know about the rivalries, they're not really those type of players that you think, do they really know what Man United Liverpool rivalry games are like? Trent gets it, you know. Alisson probably gets it, you know. Kobe Mino probably gets it. Garnacho probably gets it. Bruno probably gets it. But there's players in both teams that you think, are you guys really part? Do you guys really know about it, about the scraps? So, yeah, man, that's my opinion on it. You know,
Yeah,
I was just about to say, I'm going to agree with Bance on this one. I don't think it's the fact of it's the rivalry's gone down. I think it's more the sense of the Liverpool fans have kind of shut the Man United fans up over the last couple of years. It's because, and this is how you know. If you would have said to, say, I don't know, during the Fergie era to a Man United fan, it's not if you're going to lose, it's going to be how by how many. They would have looked at you and said, piss off. We're a Man United. We've always got a chance, blah, blah, blah. But because you've taken so many... It's like how Arsenal used to be against big teams. You know what I mean? Like they used to take Pamins. Do you remember that? That's why Arsenal fans used to hate playing against bigger teams like Chelsea and Manchester United. Same thing with... Because don't get me wrong, let's not act like Liverpool didn't get 7 put past them by Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago at home. So I do think... I swear that was at home.
That was at Villa Park. Jack Grealish was still playing for him, I think.
Was it? Well, put it this way: it's not like Liverpool haven't, because Liverpool, I know they mock Man United.
I'll tell you when that was. That I think that was the same weekend that United got beat 6-1 at home by Spurs.
Well, there you go then.
The same
Well,
weekend.
that's the thing, actually. Well, there you go. You've just summed it up. The kind of roles have reversed in terms of Arsenal and Manchester United in that respect have swapped places. Because now Arsenal are competing with everybody, and now Man United are getting panned by teams like Liverpool, City, Tottenham. Was it? I never forget when City put 6 past you at Old Trafford. Like was it 6-3 or 6-2?
It was 6-3 at the Etihad. That was last season. But City have put 6 past us, a 6-1. I think it was a 6-1 at Old Trafford under
Trafford,
Fergie.
Yeah. It was at Trafford, isn't it? Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm not being funny, right? It's the rivalry is still there. It's just, as I said, Man United fans they've just got no chest no more. Because long story short, it's become a bit of a horror story. And the thing is, I know people were saying Man United should, because we saw it earlier, didn't we, lads? People were saying Ten Hag out and all that kind of thing, and it was like that's not really going to solve anything, because every time you dismantle a manager's project, you've got to try and ask him to build again with more scraps than what the other guy used. That each time you try and rebuild it, it gets less and less of what you can rebuild it with, if you know what I'm saying. And
it gets harder and harder because there's more managers with failed projects that another manager's got to come in and try and make what's failed work.
And of course, the failure projects stack up. And as well, like that's why you've got all the problems with like Martial and all them. Like, but I think Man United can do something against Liverpool. But I'm going to ask them, do you think that yourself, Fuzzy, because it's very hard for me to say because I've got a biased. I want Man United to get panned anyway because I'm a Chelsea fan. But I'll be realistic with you. But in terms of the calm, collected football analyst in me, if you want, says if Man United can just be gritty, not pretty, just gritty, make it harder for Liverpool, pack out the midfield, maybe play a low block, try and protect. Like Varane or Evans, whoever it is. I don't want to make mockery of your squad. Just whoever you play is whoever you play. If you can try and protect your back four and keep because Liverpool can be frustrated and they can be got at. Fulham proved that. You know what I mean? And you're a better team supposedly from based in what like Fulham are. Because I'm not being funny. Everyone was talking at the beginning of the season about how Fulham were going to get relegated. And then they just started smashing in goal after goal, to be honest. So, and same thing would have been about Everton. People were saying that Everton were finished and Everton were cooked. But, you know, I mean, look how they've now started to battle up and getting result after result. So you can, by the laws of football, the ball's round. You can do something. It's just whether you can actually pull it off. That's the issue.
I mean, we have got our work cut out for us, and I've starred a comment from Big T further up, which I'll go back to.
Yeah,
I think Liverpool get smashed 7-2 by Villa or something. Yeah.
I just said
that. I think it was this comment here that I think we've only scored 1 goal at Anfield in I forgot how many games now. That 1 goal, the last time we've actually scored a goal at Anfield, I believe, was Jesse Lingard in Jose Mourinho's last game. Where we lost 3-1. That's the last time we scored.
That was about 4 years ago, isn't it? That was about 4 years ago. 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
About 5.
Serious? Is this serious?
He was out the door.
Yeah.
He was out the door in 2018.
There you go.
Christmas of 2018. That guy was out of there.
AFC always Frank Lampard incoming number 3. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Lampard's never managed Manchester United, Liverpool.
No, he's probably going to come in to replace Pochettino when he gets sacked at the other end of January or something.
Okay.
Big ups, Jaminho. How we doing, buddy?
What's Poch got to do with this conversation? Never mind. Yeah.
Let's stay on the topic of sacking managers. You know,
Yeah.
how's Poch getting on and down at the bridge? But yeah.
Well, Poch is still new compared to most other people, and that includes Arteta. And the only one that's really comparable to Poch is Postecoglou in an actual strict sense. But yeah, anyway, we digress.
Yeah, got stuff at 7-2 in 2020. The stat that makes mockery of your football club, to be honest. Talking about 7-0. I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people. 7 Up are going to be sat there looking at their sales charts and thinking, why are the sales going up again? Like, what's going on? Is Shaw out with the hammy, Maguire with the groin? I haven't seen any news today. They are, I think, doubts like there's question marks over them, because I think with their assessments, they are somewhat involved in training, but I don't know if they're like full fitness, like ready to start games at the moment.
Wait.
Based on what I've seen.
Just go down to the comment below this one, because this one's a gag. But if big team means you do not want Frank Lampard, and Frank Lampard will never play our club again. You do not want Frank Lampard. Seriously, you don't.
Super Frank, super Frank.
Mhm.
Yeah, those eyes have seen the despair and just listening
That's a
to
good
that
question.
song.
Nicole. Who would be your captain? That's a good question.
Varane?
I mean, Varane has held captaincy in a couple of games for United. I think not.
Isn't he out? Isn't he out of the team at the moment though? Isn't he?
No, he's back in. He came in for Bayern. He started against Bayern, which supposedly that falling out with Varane and Ten Hag was a falling out. It was literally they just came to disagreements, and now he's back in the team. So maybe they've sorted something out there. I don't know, but yeah, it'd probably be someone like Varane. Plus, if Maguire's not fit and available, I don't think Lindelof's available either. So even if it was that case, it doesn't matter.
Varane and Evans.
It's probably going to be Varane and Evans. Yeah.
Oh.
Doubt for Martial and Rashford as well with illness concerns, but
Marcy who?
Oh, Marshall, not. What about Rashford? Is he out?
Well, supposedly he was out with illness at the same time Martial was, so he wasn't around for Bayern. So I do not know.
Might be 7 flu. You know, I've heard some 7 flu going around.
7 flu.
Absolute swine flu in that one. I'm gone for Liverpool 5, Man United 1. Well, at least we get a goal. The first goal since 2018. I'll give you that one, AFC always. Varane had a falling out with Ten Hag, so I doubt he'll be captain. He will. I don't know. I mean, Scott McTominay's never really been captain or selected as captain by anybody. But then again, for some reason, with how much that guy starts, he probably has nudes on all the managers. So I don't know about you guys. He'd probably end up getting the special treatment. Captain McTominay, he is Ten Hag's best buddy. To be fair, he kind of is. You know, Rashford as well. But I'll tell you what, if Rashford gets given the captaincy, I'll be ready to jump out my window. If Amrabat is captain, I will lose all faith in football. Man will stop supporting Arsenal as well, because Arsenal Football Club as well, involved in football. Amrabat is worse than McShay. Are you sure about that?
Amrabat, that's what they call him, isn't it?
Thoughts and prayers go out to Luton Town defender. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Thoughts and prayers with Tom Lockyer. We did speak about it on Football Bounce's show just before this one. Do make sure to go and check that stream out. Link to Football Bounce's channel is in the title as well, so make sure you sub and like everything.
AFC, you're in my chat. If you can't see anyone else's comments because you're in my chat, go to Fuzzies and you can see everybody else's comments.
Yeah. But yeah, Tom Lockyer, thoughts and prayers go out to Tom Lockyer, and thankfully he is in a stable condition and he's on the mend. Yes, it's one of those. I mean,
it's real life.
You spoke about it with sports science and stuff, and what's going on with athletes nowadays, or young athletes, and it's not just in football, but there's various other sports as well. Young people just having cardiac arrests or issues like that, problems with the heart, and what the reasoning behind that is. It's not just with football players. You see it with fans in the stands as well. A lot more reported, health incidences to do with heart problems or heart failures or heart conditions. So God only knows what is going on, truthfully, with that situation. But fingers crossed it mediates itself and gets better. Jamino says, funny how everyone laughs at United for losing and they have an injury crisis, yet when Liverpool had an injury crisis, were losing, everyone felt bad for them.
I never ever felt bad for Liverpool, mate. I don't give a about Liverpool, mate.
And
I don't know where that comment's come from.
Neither do I.
I don't care about Liverpool. I don't care about Chelsea. I don't care about United.
Our injury crisis was worse than Liverpool's and Manchester United's, because at the beginning of the season we had about 13 players injured. Did anyone go, oh, you know what, Chelsea, they've had so many injuries, give them time? No, they've spent $1 billion. Why aren't they beating everyone and challenging for the league? So, no, I don't care about Liverpool's injuries either. Like Bant said, you get on with it like everybody else. Done.
McTominay has heart and fight, and most importantly, can score. His teammates could learn a lot from him. I mean, it's one of those things, and I suppose we can have a little conversation with Scott McTominay about where he's played for the majority of his career as at sort of one of the two holding midfielders or that deep midfield position. We've seen persistency from from managers like Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Rangnick, and now Ten Hag in playing him in that midfield position. I mean, Mourinho experimented with him at centre-back, got absolutely battered, and literally McTominay cost us 2 goals in that game. But we see attributes that we've only really seen in consistent fashion now under Ten Hag, that Scott McTominay is proving to be a viable goal threat in and around the box. I mean, once or twice when McTominay played under Ole, he got a goal here and there. And that was usually against teams that played high lines or were playing more open football. So McTominay could go forwards. As far as McTominay is concerned, what do you guys reckon Scott McTominay's best position on the pitch is? Do you reckon he's, say, a number 9, perhaps number 10, or is there anywhere else on the pitch where you feel like McTominay should, for his attributes that he has, would be most effective?
I think how you're using him now is kind of effective, because he's playing like not a hybrid role, but hang on, AFC always, hang on. There you go. That should be, click on that link. That should take you to Fuzzy's chat and stream. It's the same thing, but you should be able to go into his chat and you should be able to see everyone else's comments. Now, in regards to McTominay's best position, I think, is he playing like a slash role between a 6 and an 8, isn't he? And he just pushes up when you guys have the ball. Almost like Lampard-esque, almost. I hate to compare it, but it's the job that he does. He comes in late and taps in. And I know that because he scored against us twice. I think with him, just carry on using him. It's not when you look at United's problems, Scott McTominay is not the main problem. He's not. He's not. I'm not being disrespectful. If you're just going to be like Scott McShite-Tominay and all that kind of crap, he's been United's arguably you guys' best player over the last 10 games. Maybe Garnacho as well. Who else is in with a shout?
I mean,
not Onana.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. God, no.
Listen. For me, and I've been saying this, and it's going to sound really ridiculous what I'm going to say, but I'm a person that watches football with my eyes. And for me, McTominay, I would put him in the number 9 position, because that guy knows how to finish. You've got 00 whatever 12 or 00 whatever 13 Rasmus, can't hit a flipping bundle, When you've got McTominay, that's just like, he can score goals. And as I said, he's better forward than like back in like, defending or that central position, because he's a liability when he's defending centrally as a DM and where he played. I would play him as the number 9, mate. I know as funny as it sounds, that guy will get goals for you. I believe it.
Okay, well, I suppose with Scott McTominay, to support the argument with being a number 9, I think he actually started his academy or the roles in like the academy teams as a striker, and I think he just sort of transitioned as like he was getting into the first team picture. He sort of moved into a more midfield position, But I think if he started out his career as a striker, he's probably got he probably
He's got
possesses
the attributes, hasn't he?
natural.
He's got the physique and everything.
He probably does possess the sort of attributes or the natural instinct of a striker. So when he is in the box, he has got that sort of that notion for eye for goal, where he knows where the goal is.
One problem. I hear what Bance is saying, and I do understand where he's saying about the physical attributes. But the thing is, as a goal scorer, he gets it by arriving late into the box as a midfielder. If he's a striker and he's expected to lead the line, he's the one making space for everybody else to come up behind him, which counteracts his effectiveness.
I'll tell you that thing as well. I know that Bance just said about Rasmus Højlund. The guy can't hit the target. I think it was Chelsea where, he might be the guy that was making the space for McTominay to go into the blind spots or to get the extra space, because everyone's busy marking Højlund and saying, "There's a danger man, there's a danger man," and McTominay just goes completely unmarked. He's like, "Oh, cool, I'll just have a free shot then." So it might be that essence there where if you've got a striker that does a job well, McTominay sort of gets activated, if you will. And I think what this team needs to try and do is find ways, not just activate Scott McTominay, but there's a load of other players that have got to be activated as well. Like guys like Garnacho, get into good goal scoring positions. Antony not trying to be, bloody Z Tech, not even B Tech or C Tech. We're talking Z Tech, Iron Robin. Like, stop trying to cut inside from 50 yards out to try and shoot for goal. And when you actually hit the ball, Antony, it's meant to try and leave the ground, get a bit of height on it instead of rolling it. Might as well ball roll it to the goalkeeper with your efforts. But find ways in which you can get the best out of every player in the unique positions. And I feel like we've got a squad of players that won't do that. They won't go out of their way to make the jobs easier for each other, and that's always going to hamper a team's progression or a growth or togetherness, where it's like you get a squad of players that, a group of players that people say, "Oh, I really like these guys. I think this team's fantastic. I like when we talk about teams, you say, I like that team. I like what they're about. I like what sort of like characters they cut and the sort of personality that team has on the pitch and the togetherness it has." With United, it's only talking really about individuals here, individuals there, and it's a lot of stories about one player who stands out as the worst of a bad bunch after a match day when the result isn't positive. And I feel like we've just not gelled or created or constructed a crop of players that genuinely have that bonding, where they will go through hell and high water for each other. Yeah, and I feel like there's more clubs out there like your Brightons or your Aston Villas or your Newcastles that will be much more closer to that image. So you see those teams play better stuff. You see those teams fight harder than United, and it's in the long term side of things, it's killing the team and it's killing players' careers.
But in regards to this point you've got highlighted here, the difference between Newcastle and Manchester United is Newcastle are expected or trying to or at least trying to compete in these areas, when Man United are expected to win them. The standard is different.
I think it's about where both teams are coming from.
Yes.
And I think with Newcastle, they're coming from lower levels and they're on the up. With Manchester United, we're at a higher position, but we're sliding down an icy slope. Whereas we should be doing that at the same time as Newcastle doing that, because Newcastle, how far Saudi ownership is going to take them. Well, we're going to have to see just how far that project is really going to go with Newcastle, and whether they really go to the top and get dominance like a Manchester City do. But Manchester United, from where we've come from to where we should be going, but where we are actually going, I think it's one of those things that the way football is that we're going to get left behind. Like, we have to sort our problems out fast, because it's not just Manchester City we're talking about. It's not just Liverpool or say Arsenal we're talking about. We're talking about clubs like Brighton, Aston Villa, and Newcastle running away from us.
Spurs as well.
Spurs, yeah, because I mean, we get Ange Postecoglou in. Daniel Levy's preaching to the choir again about trying something new and we'll focus on this being a new era and stuff. I don't know how long that's going to last before Voldemort shows his true colours again. But for me, United, they've got so much wrong in the back of house. Like, you've got to fix it up there so that the ambition returns to the dressing room, the ambition turns to the corridors of the training ground, so that you instill a fresh club culture that is building towards greatness, that understands where the greatness has been before, and not sit there and just live on past glories and say, well, we used to be great, but what are you now? Focus on making what you are now into as good as you can make it, but aim for the number one, aim for top spot. Gonna read a couple more comments here. Got big up, nice meal. Nice meal. Who's nice meal? Everyone, opposition fans included, was crying about Henderson Fabinho at centre back, and they were saying that they feel bad and all. I think you just hate Liverpool.
Oh, do you know what? I'm not even responding to that.
Yeah, that was just a media thing. They all cried for Liverpool because they wanted them to challenge City. I mean, do you buy into that? I mean, I suppose there is, like, of lesser importance or lesser concern to anybody, the way that media in this country likes to write about specific teams as though it's like one big storyline, as though football's created by Vince McMahon, and that it's all just sort of prefixed and it's all about story and entertainment, and how the media writes about stuff. I know the media in this country like to make biasery stuff and talk about absolute nonsense and whatnot. Do you reckon there is any element to British media where they sort of Disney-esque all things football in this country, or do you think it is just media is just doing what media always does?
Yeah, of course they do. You have to remember, that they're also football fans as well, the media. So, and I've worked in the media before. I've worked for companies like Sky, so I know what these guys are like. When they want a team to win, they're gonna they're gonna say all the nice things about them. They're gonna give them all the hype. They're gonna do what they need to do, just to give that team that extra boost in terms of support. But yeah, we all know what the media's like, man, when it comes to certain teams as well. And I'm gonna be real with you, it was Man United back in the day. Man United got all the decisions back in the day. Man United were the team that, do you know what I mean, got the Fergie time. Man United had all the pundits that were kissing their bottoms, shaking their bottoms violently for them, as Deji would say, and just, even up till now, sometimes you get the odds, Gary Neville coming up with some rubbish. I ain't got no examples recently, but up to it's always been like that. It's always been like that. But because the mighty have fallen now, it's kind of well, we're not going to big you up as much, because we've got City here, and we know you guys can't compete with City on a money level. Yeah, I suppose you can and stuff like that, but it's just different now. It's almost and I think Big T was talking about it. I was speaking about it earlier about you guys talking to Liverpool and other teams now. Yeah. It's different now. It's when's the last time you lot won a title? Was it 2016 or something? 2013, yeah?
Yeah.
That's 10 years ago. Arsenal 20 years ago. You know, we can't be saying, yeah, remember like 20 years ago, remember 10 years ago, we won this. It's boring.
I think it's time that fans need to stop thinking about what once was and think about what can you do now, where can you go now. I think if you have that sort of same passion and desire right the way across the fan base with that unanimous like perspective where it's like we want our club to be great, let every home and away game let them know about it. And this is the thing that I call for fans to do more is when things are just not acceptable, vocalize it. You wouldn't, like any other club in any other country, if their team is in the middle, say getting battered 5-6-0, you probably wouldn't see people just leaving the ground early. You'd just hear jeering and booing just non-stop for the whole game. You'd see, I mean, not to say that you should go completely over the top and start like mass pitch invasions and stuff, but vocalization, because one thing United fans do that I think is like, to some extent you commend it, but I also think there's an element of it where it's like it's almost censoring the message a little bit as to the state of current affairs. That United fans at Old Trafford will just, like, whoever it is on the pitch, they'll go absolutely batshit crazy, cheering for them. Whereas at the end of the game, if the result's bad, they'll boo a little bit and then they'll go home again. Whereas where is the people that say, well, actually, I'm a paying customer. I've put a lot of money aside to actually come to see this. And if I'm just, regardless of what happens, mindlessly cheering for my team, even if we are losing 3-4-0, home or away, I want them to know about it. And I feel like the fan cultures in this country own like maybe one or two clubs, in the Premier League. Maybe you'll get it more with clubs lower down in lower divisions.
Yeah.
And I feel like with fans, we don't let the players, managers, or people like the big media companies, when they're watching games, if it's just absolutely just rife with booze all over the place because the situation's unacceptable, it's not like people go, oh, the United fan base are really behind the players. Like, they're not going to do that. They're going to write about those fans are really pissed off.
I did hear boos in the last game, though. In the Bournemouth game, I did hear a lot of boos, and I was quite surprised the amount of boos I heard in that game at the end of the game. It was quite prevalent that I can hear those boos at the end of that game. I think Ten Hag's under a lot of pressure, man. He's under a lot of pressure.
A hell of a lot.
This game as well. If it's a battering, I can see him either getting sacked or walking Monday. Because the players will just be like, they would just lose. Come on now.
I don't think that will solve the problems though. Sacking Ten Hag won't solve the issues they've got.
No, I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying, that he's under a lot of pressure now. And if it was to go like a 4-5-0, and United just gave up, then serious questions will have to be asked of him, of his motivations with the players, with the team, with the staff, because he's under the spotlight now. No matter what you say, I don't care. He's under the spotlight now. And the whole world's watching this game tomorrow. Doesn't matter whether Man United are 6th, 7th, or wherever, Liverpool at top. The whole world are watching this game tomorrow. And he needs to be able to be in the game for at least, do you know what? At least 60, 70 minutes. It won't be acceptable, for the Man United fans, for any fans to be watching that game to see Man United getting battered again. That's embarrassing. That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah, I completely
Mr.
get what
Man
you're saying.
United, Harold Webb, yeah.
Oh yeah. That was his mate. That was his mate.
Surprising
That's your
that.
mate.
I'll tell you what, it's surprising with Howard Webb, now that he's sort of in charge of VAR, that Manchester United aren't getting all the biased decisions in their
Yeah,
favour. I thought,
those brown
I'll
envelopes
tell
must
you
have
what,
stopped, mate.
someone's giving them a better deal than Manchester United
Yeah,
chiefs. I'll
exactly.
tell you that much.
City, they're the ones
Yeah,
getting.
I was just about to say shout out City, but I was doing.
City, the big blue sharks are coming for
Bro,
you again.
I'm telling you, all the big people, all the people in VAR control going Aguero right
Read
now.
that. Read this one out, please, Fuzzy, because this is what I'm talking about. This from Big T.
Fuzzy, this manager is not acceptable. We sacked managers who got out of Champions League group stages. The only argument to not sack Eric is because we've sacked previous managers. Absolute madness.
It's true.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
true.
1 second.
Well, that's down to interpretation a bit, because I think one thing about with the managers they've sacked, so one or two of them they would have been better off sticking with more than not sticking with. Like Mourinho, I would have rather have kept Mourinho or LVG over taking Ten Hag or Oli. Sorry.
Well, that's the thing is, like, is it just that the reason why we don't want to sack Ten Hag is because we've sacked managers previously. Is it just that? For me, there's much more between the lines than I think some people are willing to read. For me, I'm not saying that we shouldn't ever sack Ten Hag by any means. That's the thing. I've never said that I'm Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out. I've never said that I'm absolutely sticking with this manager to the day I die. I'm saying that the idea of sacking this manager right now, with the context of where the club is, the situation in the whole club, for me, it feels like if you sack the manager, what you're hoping will change won't, because, with what's happened with Ranić, Oli, Mourinho, Van Gaal, things like that. And the cycle, for me, what I've noticed is that the cycle, the toxicity returns to the dressing room. It's getting quicker now. The toxicity is seeping in sooner, because at least with Moyes, it was just completely the wrong choice, and you literally had Fergie's players there. So, bad manager choice, that was always going to happen or end in tears quite quickly. Louis van Gaal took him about 2 years, or it was sort of towards the end of 2 years, where people were like, "Oh, I hope Van Gaal does better." And then the third season, I think he got through to the end of the third season by winning an FA Cup, but then he left. And then with Mourinho,
Wait, left or got the sack? Be clear on that.
I think he sort of parted ways. Not to say, like, I think I suppose it was sacking, but I think sacking is just like, yeah, no, you're not good enough anymore. It's like, we'll give you to the end of the season, but then we'll part ways. And I think it was probably an agreement on that basis, that they went their separate ways, and it was like that agreement in principle. And when it got to the end of the season, which, to be fair, he did leave on a high. He won the FA Cup at the end of the season and then walked out, and haven't won the FA Cup since. So brilliant. But yeah, for me, I don't know what you guys think about the manager situation. Would you say that it is a lot, that there is much more depth to the idea of sacking managers than just it being, like, we need to change the manager, or do you think that there is less reason to think that sacking a manager does change anything with this group of players and the situation at the club?
Well, you just said it yourself. How many managers have you sacked since Ferguson?
So, Moyes, LVG, Mourinho, Oli, Ranić, technically.
Right, so that's 5.
We've had 5 thus far.
And the group of players has more or less always been the same, with minor changes here and there, right?
For the most part, yeah.
So if you've changed the manager 5 times and you're still getting the same bullshit, then the manager's not the problem, is it?
Well, that's the thing. It's been different styles of managers as well. So we talk about what players want, or
No, but
best way to get the best out of players, right? You go from serial winners like Mourinho, defensive style football. You talk about trying to build teams in Mourinho's image. You never really get to see a fully fledged Mourinho team. But then again, he worked some miracles with the squad that he had. He did exceptionally well with what he had, but it wasn't going to last because it wasn't, they were never going to build on top of what they had done from that point.
But the thing is, do you think and this is a question, not an accusation, but do you think a lot of Man United fans are so hung up on the Fergie era that they don't notice that it's not just a matter of Man United have gone down, everybody else has gone up as well, in the sense of Liverpool have improved a lot over the last 10 years in terms of in the league. Man City have got more consistent. Arsenal have got stronger again. Villa have got stronger again. Newcastle are getting stronger again. Chelsea are decent, or can be. Everton could be a problem to anybody. So, you know what I mean? Is it not the fact of some Man United fans, the standards is, we missed the Fergie days because we used to dominate football. And I know a lot of Man United fans don't acknowledge this, but they did dominate through money. And a lot of, but it was all homegrown. No, it wasn't. When was Eric Cantona homegrown, bruv? Ferguson was at Manchester United 5 years signing players. He replaced about, 30 players before he won the title again? And he broke the English transfer record at least once. So,
sorry, Bance. Sorry, Bance.
Don't apologise to yourself.
You know what it is? I think this is really something that is not getting spoken on enough when it comes to managers. Managers need to know when players have to move on, when it's their time to move on. Martial, being at the club for over 10 years, he shouldn't be even stepping out on the pitch again for you guys again. The guy's joined you when he was nearly 19 or something like that. He's like nearly 30 now.
He joined in, I think it was Louis van Gaal's second season, at the start of the second season, and his debut game was against Liverpool. Came on and scored that third goal, which gave Martin Tyler an orgasm.
I remember that. And he's had his moments, but I just think sometimes, when you hold on to a player too long, it's almost like they just get stale. They just get stale at the club. And I think certain players at Man United shouldn't be wearing that Man United top. They don't deserve to be playing in that Man United top. Now, players need to have a good hard look at themselves for Man United. We can talk about the manager, blame the manager, this, that, tactics, whatever. But the players need to look at themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they shouldn't be getting off scot-free either. Look at some of the performances this season. Bournemouth game, for example. Where was you? You're playing at Old Trafford, and you're getting smashed 4-0, 3-0.
Should have been 4-0 to be fair.
That's never been heard of at Old Trafford.
Well, that game broke pretty much every record that we had standing with Bournemouth. That pretty much that result gave them firsts in their club's history against United.
That's crazy.
Almost every department.
Crazy. Fergie must have been going crazy at that game, because there's no way this Man United, big Man United, and I always will say Man United are a massive team. I don't care whether they're slumped or whatever. They're still Man United. They're still globally a massive team. Whether I like them, whether I hate them, I don't. That's here, neither here nor there. They're still a big team, and when you've got certain players in the team that they're just not up for scratch now. Rashford had a nice purple patch last year. He scored loads of goals now, but he's just been stinking out the place this season. Honestly, he's been stinking out the place this season. What is going on with this guy? You've got the Sancho saga, where he's still at the club. I hope you guys get rid of him in January or put him on loan or just do something. the bad apples need to get out of your club. You need to get these players out.
Just a quick thing on.
Anthony, that's another reason why Ten Hag gets crucified, because of Anthony as well. And the
But he's not a bad player, though. He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player. Anthony's not a bad player.
Yeah, but the price.
Yes, but he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's just not being managed correctly at this time.
There is one quick thing with Sancho as well. Supposedly, there have been murmurings that Sancho is willing to revitalise his Man United career.
Oh, okay.
Once Ten Hag gets sacked, he is literally waiting because he's probably thinking, well, this guy's on the ropes, and I'm not forgiving Ten Hag. I'm not apologising to him. I'm not doing anything like that. So he's probably thinking, well, if Ten Hag gets sacked and your manager comes in, my slate's clean, isn't it? I can just walk back into that team and go back to fighting for my place every week again.
Because he's a good player. Sancho's a very good player as well.
He's very talented, but he's got nothing going on upstairs. He's not got that discipline for being a model professional. He's not got the discipline for it. So, Old Trafford's full of tourist fans now, Fuzzy. They've got to get the train back to London, so we'll leave early. That's actually a lot of fans that do travel from long ways, which is got to beat the bloody traffic on the M6 or something. I think Howard Webb is repenting for his sins.
Is that why he's in VAR? Yeah.
Gets cheap holidays and
we're all paying for his sins if that's the case. Jesus Christ. Fuck me. What a comment to make. Jesus.
Oh.
I'm praying to the milk choco gods tonight, folks.
Who do you think would develop Højlund, Mainu, Garnacho, Hannibal, and etc. better? Ten Hag or Potter? We need to out the big egos and build a team.
That's a good question. It's a very good question.
Well, that's the thing. Ten Hag, he has built players from the levels of Højlund, Mainu, Garnacho, and Hannibal at different setups at different teams at Ajax. Whether he'd be able to do that at Manchester United, even without all the problems.
Wait, can I ask a question? If Ten Hag's in there, why isn't LVG? Because if you actually look at LVG compared to Ten Hag, they're actually similar molds of manager. So why isn't LVG on that list? Because I'm not being funny. He was loved by all. He was a proper man manager as well.
I'll tell you what, LVG, I'll give credit where credit is due for LVG. Some of the starting lineups under LVG were very youth-centric. Marcus Rashford broke onto the scene thanks to LVG. This guy was playing guys like, I think we had Varela, like some Real Madrid reject right back. Dimitri Mitchell, Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, Paddy McNair. Players like that were getting into the team quite frequently. So it was Van Gaal was definitely trying to spur on the opportunity.
And he did it at Barcelona and he did it at Ajax. He sprung through other players as well.
That is true. But between Ten Hag and Graham Potter, who would you say would
Well, Graham Potter's not. No, because one thing about it is Graham Potter is not known for developing. He's known through that Bournemouth system as being a good talent spotter, not developer. So I do think, in terms of, if you want to ask me who between the two of them is more proven, I would say Ten Hag.
So hold on, how did Bissouma come through then at Brighton? Then that was on the Potter, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was also setup. Wasn't he bought?
Yeah, I think Yves Bissouma was
bought for like 2 years ago.
Was he?
Oh, let me bring it up.
Because it's like Cancelo, isn't it? When they bought him for
4 but it's all about man management as well, isn't it?
Oh no, you got to get the best out of him.
Graham Potter's a very good at man management.
Yeah, but
that's very important.
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't develop that Brighton side that much because he was only there in terms of the actual Graham project, 2 seasons? He didn't take them that far.
Oh, Brighton, he was only at Brighton for 2 seasons. He done a bloody good job.
No, he weren't there that long, to be fair.
I'm sure.
So yeah, he came in from Lille in 2018 for 8 million. Actually, was it 8 million? No,
Graham
for
Potter.
16.8 million euros, and then he was there until July 1st, 2022.
So,
So about 4 years. So about 4 years, yeah.
So there you go. He done pretty much what Arsenal did with Fabregas. He saw a reasonably talented player and bought him. But the thing is, with Basuma, he's still at Brighton, isn't he? So, or did he go
No,
Tottenham?
he's
No,
at
he
Spurs.
went to Spurs,
He's
didn't
at
he?
Spurs. Yeah.
And the thing is, one thing about it is with Basuma, would you say he was a well beater?
No,
Not
he's not a
really,
world
no.
beater. He's a
No.
I'd
He's
say
like an Onana for Everton.
He's a very good Premier League player. He's a very good.
He has his off days. Let me put it that way.
He was. Do you know what? Up until recently, he was probably the best DM in the league. You know, because he was.
Yeah.
No, I mean like
But
the first few games, 5 games, he's probably like the best DM in the league.
I hear you, but the thing is, with Spurs, you got to only look at Spurs' opening 9 games. Like a lot of them were against the bottom sides, teams from like 20 up. And I'm not being funny. They had that new manager bouncing Postecoglou because look when they were okay. And to flip it a bit, look when they went on that bad run when they got 4 defeats in 5 games. They were already talking about Postecoglou out. So it was kind of like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to win the league, and now that you beat Newcastle or whatever it was, you're going to win the league again. Like, the week before that, you're talking about sacking the guy. Now you're talking about winning the league again. It's like, behave. Seriously.
that's just listen, that just happens when you're Tottenham.
Spursy.
That just
That's
happens.
what they call it.
You get plans of grandeur. You're winning the league whenever you win, but
Yeah.
you're getting relegated. The manager needs to be sacked every time you lose.
Right, but back to Brighton. Brighton are a feeder club. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's the correct term. That's the correct term.
Right, and the problem with them is they're going to be one of those guys. As long as they're between 15th and 5th, they're not really going to complain, are they? And you can tell with the Conceição money, they didn't really invest a lot of it back in. They bought some more talented younger players again, but then now it's down to the Zabi to get them to work. Are they probably going to get as good as results as they did last year? I don't think so.
I mean, to me, they've already dropped a level from. And do you know what? There's one person I've got to say about with this is Lee Gunner. He put it perfectly. With Southampton, they used to be in Brighton's shoes at the pomp of where Southampton got to. All of those players. Then Liverpool came along, kept taking players. Southampton say, well, yeah, but they recruit really well. But the quality just gradually goes down from a squad perspective, and it's unsustainable.
That's the same
thing. Brighton have already dropped a level. If they then get raided again next summer and their level drops even more, what's to say? Like, even if De Zerbi gets poached and another manager comes in, so then you have just
even wait to answer this quickly.
Because Ferguson will get. Go ahead.
Wait a second. I just want to answer this. Would any of your managers in any other job have given you 3 months off the previous year because you didn't feel good? Because if you're gonna say about how Jadon Sancho felt disrespected by the fact that Ten Hag come out and said he wasn't performing, that's professional criticism. If you're a footballer and your manager does not believe you're training to a standard, you get back on the training pitch and you prove him wrong on the pitch. You don't go, how can you say that to me? Oh, this is the same guy that gave me 3 months off last year because I couldn't go to.
Hold on. Didn't Sancho have some serious like mental problems and someone passed away and all that?
Discipline issues, bro. That's all that crap that United. He's got discipline issues. Even Matic came out and said it last week.
Being late.
Right. He's not a professional He's a street footballer. He'll play it when he feels like. He's like a Hazard. He'll play it when he feels like it. Yeah, it's not like an Henry where he's bang on it because he's hungry because this is Manchester United, or in Henry's case, this is Arsenal, and you ain't gonna beat us because we're good. The mentality that's what Fuzzy was saying about mentality. It's not there. It's just not there. There's so much ability with Jadon.
Well, he's getting paid so much. Would you have that mentality if you're getting paid
Of
as
course,
much as him?
but then again, I come from a humble background, just like you do, and same thing with Fuzzy. We don't say we can't make it to work in the morning because I couldn't switch Fortnite off. Yeah, what would happen if you said to your manager, the reason why I was late like this morning to training was because I was playing Fortnite until 4 a.m. and I had to get off for training at 9, and I didn't make it. Imagine
I'm
that
not that bad. I wouldn't stay on Fortnite till 4 a.m.
Bro, I'm going early. If you're paying me 350 bags a week, bro, I'm going to sleep as soon as I get home. I'll wake up,
I'm going to
eat,
sleep
all
at 8
that.
o'clock, mate.
You get me? Like, I'm getting 350 grand a week. Like, come on. Like,
So you say you go to sleep at 8 o'clock, mate. It's like 5 hours past your bedtime, Abs. What are you still doing? You're still doing it, man.
You see me yawning, yeah?
Go to bed. Go to bed, Abs.
You know what I mean? It's just professionalism. Like, that's not an excuse, particularly when the said manager that you said is exposing you backed you for 3 months in the previous season. All right, if it's professional criticism, then there's no argument. He criticized him back, but ultimately the manager's in charge. Deal with it.
I think everything's going to come out. If Ten Hag leaves, you know the player's going to start talking.
If you can't take the heat,
get out of the kitchen.
Thank you very much. That's just you saying, I can't do my job. I can't do it to a certain level. Well, fuck off then.
Let me put it this way.
Bitch.
If the local tabloids, right, were to go out to different, like, it came to my job and wrote a story about, okay, give us an insight to what your team of employees are like, and my manager says, oh, they're all pretty good. I mean, there's this one guy who's, sometimes he's on it, sometimes he's not, and like I get name dropped or something, or like a nickname gets given. If everyone's got nicknames in teams, I don't know what other like retail teams are like. I personally, I wouldn't go and decide I'm going to go write in the tabloids a story about my manager, and I'm going to then sit at home on, expecting to get full wages and kick my feet up and
size comment.
That's the problem. He shouldn't be voicing that to the media. Get your nose to the grindstones and bust your balls to make amends. If this were 10, 20 years ago, and there was public criticism of a player in the media or on at a press conference, would you ever see a player come out and decide, you can't talk about that, you can't talk like that about me, and then sit on the sidelines taking a full wage, not playing, and you're saying, I'm not going to get involved, and I'm not going to apologise to you.
No,
my ties are done. Most clubs would have paid a release clause or a severance fee and said, well, you're not willing to play, off to the streets you go, because they've got, there's something more important here than satisfying one player's needs or desires. End of story. There's a whole squad there of players that are trying to work hard, work for each other, and if you've got one person there that gets criticized for one training, and by the way, that's the first, it's not like he's constantly be going at him in the media. It's just one time. And this is the thing, if you're an adult, you also go and speak to the manager. You speak to him on a daily basis. You speak to him man to man and say, I appreciate you're not satisfied with me, but please don't talk about me in the media like that again. But that's the thing, as I think maybe there's an element of player power that exists at Manchester United in what Jadon Sancho has said with his statements, or the action to putting out a statement. Because why would the club, who are the bosses, your bosses' bosses, why would they allow for a statement like that to go out there?
Maybe it's deliberate.
Yeah.
Well, I
keeps Man United in the headlines.
I'm with Ten Hag, on this one, because if Ten Hag is to turn around now, and oh, do you know what? Yeah, Sancho, blah blah blah. Then he's gonna be made to look weak. And do you know what? Maybe there's a little bit of what can I put a fault on the manager's side, but Sancho also is not, he's not playing ball, and as you were saying, this player power thing, yeah, it's taking a piss. These guys can't be allowed to just like think they can just come and go and do whatever they want, and
It's Manchester United.
You're disrespecting the manager, man.
Do you think Real Madrid would have that shit? Do you think Barcelona would have that shit? Do you think AC Milan would have that?
Fergie would have had that.
Nuts.
Look what happened to Keane. Look what happened to Roy Keane.
That's the difference, though. Fergie was United at that point. That's the problem. Because there's no one there who's been long enough to be declared the club. The best person for that kind of thing would have been Mourinho, because he called out Pogba years ago. Oh, and look in hindsight, because he said Pogba wasn't good enough. He doesn't have the dedication to it. Look how many years later when Man United ended up releasing one of the most expensive players ever on a free transfer. That's bad business, brother. And the thing is, the only person you can bring in to replace that kind of Fergie is someone like with a big ego who has, I am the club. You do not fuck with me, because I'm not being funny.
Mourinho wouldn't have none of that, would he? Mourinho wouldn't have none of it. He'd throw you under the bus straight away. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The thing is, and that's the thing. Don't act like Fergie didn't do it. Van Nistelrooy got destroyed, got sold to Real Madrid. Beckham got destroyed, then sold to Real Madrid. These guys, as soon as you piped up, mate, you went out the fucking door. Yeah. That's prime Manchester United.
The integrity for the power structure, but that's the thing with the board structure. The integrity of that power is not there. It's all mates rates between players and the guys that are on the other end of the manager. Quick one with Big T's comment here. Ten Hag shouldn't be naming players on camera. What happened was that the interviewer asked about Jadon Sancho.
That's true.
He asked, why is Jadon Sancho not in the matchday squad? And Ten Hag just simply said he didn't train at a good enough level. Mm-hmm. I think there's an element of people who react to this as well, where it's like people are pretending that Ten Hag came out and said, well, Jadon Sancho, he's been really crap in training. Mm-hmm. That comment, you would say, well, actually, that player's going to be really offended by that. But he's answered the journalist's question. The journalist wants to know, what about Jadon Sancho? And he's just said, just hasn't been training up to scratch this week.
That's fair enough.
But maybe it's an open. He probably thinks it's an open invitation. You train better next week, and you'll be back in the squad, mate. And that's the thing.
Can I just say, right? Is the whole reason why that reaction was taken in that particular way? He's a fucking English player. Oh no, not one of our own. You're not talking shit about one of the England stars under Gareth. Surely not. Yeah, he's a prick. How about that?
Didn't what was it? I mean, even Southgate doesn't favour Jadon Sancho. I'm pretty sure.
Alarm bells are ringing, Willie. You know what I mean? Alarm bells are ringing. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not like Dortmund fought to keep Jadon Sancho. It was just like, all right, here's the money we want. Man United, one season they were like, nah, we're not gonna pay that. Then the following said, yeah, we'll pay that, and they got him.
To be fair, were there any other clubs competing with Manchester United at the time for his signature?
Nope.
Not for that price, no. But two things could be right at the same time. There's clearly some animosity between the manager and the player. If we look back before he wasn't being selected, so before that statement, he wasn't really playing that many games, was he? He might have the odd cameo here and there, but he wasn't really doing much. So I think Ten Hag already made his mind up about Sancho. The lates come into training, and he's probably seen a few things that he doesn't like in him, and he's probably tried. He's probably tried to turn a blind eye on a few occasions. He's probably tried to encourage the player, But but it gets to a point now where, do you know what? Yeah, I've not even like really aired you out. I could have aired you out properly, in this interview, but I didn't. And then you turn around, you're showing me loads of disrespect. So it's like, what does Sancho want, man? What do you know what I mean? It's all this player power rubbish, man. It's annoying. It's annoying me. It's just, if Sancho's got a point and I'm wrong, then do you know what? Yeah, I'll put my hands up. Yeah, but at this point, it's not looking good for him. It's not looking good for him.
Can I give another example of this type of relationship between a player and manager? Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba.
I just said that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just said that.
Even the cameras were following that. When there's that clip of Jose Mourinho, Paul Pogba's running onto the training pitch. Mourinho says something to him, and Paul just goes,
Yeah. And
it's like a
like, why did you say that for? Like, what?
It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Another great example of that from Chelsea as well. Conte, Costa.
They had a bit of beef there.
Yeah. Oh, bruv. You know what it was, right? It's the way he used to deploy Costa. It wasn't about all this. Oh, I wanted to go to China crap. Nah, man. There's when certain bus stops they clashed because they were just different kinds of people, bruv. Diego Costa is a handout, heart and chest kind of guy. He likes to kick and scrap. Conte's no, you need to be tactical. That's why he loved Lukaku, because Lukaku is such a yellow belly. He'd never have bitten at Antonio Conte. So he was perfect for Conte. Just like play off the last shoulder of the last defender, and make sure you score 20 goals a season. And that's what Conte did for Lukaku. Because every other team he's been at, other than Inter, he's been played as a target man. And that's not what Lukaku's good at. And that's the problem. But just because you see a big guy who's strong and quick doesn't mean he's going to be a great target man. Just because you see in a player in Jadon Sancho, just because he's skillful and technical, doesn't mean you see a hard-working winger. You just see a person who's skillful. How many people, and Bance will back me up on this, how many people are well beaters on the training ground, but on the pitch they're useless? I can tell you loads of examples that I've seen in varying levels as well, ranging from under 16s all the way up to under 23s in different clubs, ranging from Sunday League over there to Leyton Orient, which is about 5 roads away from me that way. And if you're trying to tell me Leyton Orient are a small club, you're mad, because they're one of the oldest clubs in England. Top 10 oldest clubs in England. So I've got heritage in football as well around me. Don't ever get it twisted. It's no one's bigger than the club. No one. Not Jadon Sancho, exactly. Not Pogba. That's one. The main point. Yeah. And that's what I said about Fergie. Fergie was Manchester United. So if you go against him, you went against the club. David Gill used to back Alex Ferguson because he was his tag team partner in the boardroom to the hilt. Anything them two were agreed on, more or less, went. And Fuzzy will back me up on this. But the thing is, at least the politics back then, and they kind of held the Glazers in place for a little while as well, because let's not forget that the Glazers have owned Man United for a couple of decades, right? Like they were the glue that held Manchester United together, and slowly but surely, as each project's gone on, you've seen the cracks widen and widen and widen and widen. You never get anywhere by excluding anyone. You don't build something by excluding one person over the other or trying to place blame. It's inclusion, not exclusion, is the key to survival. And that's a fact in life, work, anything. You don't have that, you're screwed. And I'm not being funny. In the case of the manager versus the player, if it's just one player, then the managers should always come out on top because they are the club. Ferguson wouldn't take that shit at Manchester United. Arsene Wenger wouldn't have taken that shit. Even Benitez wouldn't have taken that. I think he had beef with Harry Kewell at one point. And what's the guy that Dieter Schumacher? Remember the guy that used it? No, not Dieter Hiermand. The guy that the Champions League final for him, who actually saved the game for Liverpool because he actually shut Kaká down. But he had a fall. He sold him, bro. He's the reason why he won the Champions League. Still got rid of him. When you served your purpose, mate, you're out the door. That's it. It's called being professional. If we're all delivery drivers and we're supposed to make 50 rounds, but we don't and we only make 40, you get fired, right? Professionalism. I hear what Thingy was saying a minute ago. Big T was saying about you don't voice that opinion, but they both voiced it in public. So 2 wrongs don't make a right. You don't. It's like me being punched in the face by Fuzzy, and then me punching him back, and then me saying I'm not the aggressor here. He is. Yeah, all right, but you could have walked away because you don't even know why Fuzzy punched you in the face. You know what I mean? It's like, hang on a minute, I've just taken a blow here. You know, what I mean? I understand.
Yeah, that's like self-defense, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But it's reactionary. That's what I'm saying. That's why he said about Jaden Sancho. He's just called him back out. But at the same time, we're not talking about physical blows. He could have just gone to the gaffer in the office and been like, "Boss, what's all this about?" And even Fuzzy said, you listen to the stories about Brian Clough, about how he used to bring players into his office, and they would be terrified of going in there on their own. Even in the dressing room, players were terrified of Clough. They used to just look down and focus on their towels when he was in the room because he didn't want them to make. I'm being serious. He didn't want to make. Even Fergie, unless you were one of the big players like under Fergie's reign, like Roy Keane and them lot, you kept your head down because the hierarchy in football used to be like that. You know what I mean? If you were a new boy in the squad, mate, you earn your banner. You earn. It's not like that anymore. Nothing's earned in football anymore. It's all given. That's the problem.
Yeah. But anyways, we could stay on talk about Manchester United and this conversation. I know Abs is probably ready to drink a pint of bleach right now because, as on his show, he stated, "I don't want to talk nothing about United's problems. They've got everything that they've got coming to them and all of that stuff." Let's talk about the future, near future specifically. There's a January transfer window just around the corner, and there's a lot of clubs planning to do big business, small business, whatever business. We're gonna go around the clubs here. We'll start with Chelsea. Well, actually, yeah, let's start with Chelsea.
They've already bought everyone.
They've already spent $1 billion. But yeah, with what you've seen so far, Wolfie, from what your team has done in this season, and perhaps where you want to go to, say, finishing in an acceptable position, what would you say your plans in the January transfer window would be in terms of perhaps outgoings, then incomings, anybody you'd want to replace?
Well, put it this way, the first part, okay, and this may shock most people, but the first person I won't replace is Thiago Silva.
I'm not shocked by that.
No, I am, because at the end of the day, even if you get a season or maybe two out of him, sooner or later, you've got to get rid of him. So you can't, in long-term thinking, you can't apply him. So in terms of short-term, you could, but I'm not being funny. Like, he's got a year up, and I'm not being funny. Sooner or later, bro, he's going to fully decline. He gets exposed for pace now as it is. He's not as strong as he was, and you can see that he's not as strong as he was. And I'm not being funny. If you're any kind of manager in the right frame of mind, you're making plans without him. And I'm not being funny. I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing applied to Ben Chilwell as well, because that guy's ankle, his hamstring's made of glass now. And I'm not being funny. In terms of Chelsea, yes, they do have striking issues and stuff, and in terms of striker problems. But I do think part of the reason why we're so inconsistent is because of the leadership in the squad. In terms of there's no experience in that team. If Poch has been told, build me a team of like a good team that will compete over the next 6 or 7 years, fine. Give him a chance to get Chilwell fit, Wesley Fofana fit, Lavia fit, Nkuku fit. Broly's been back.
Yeah, but what do you need? What do you in the transfer window?
Left back. We need a left back, a centre back, and a goalkeeper. And
that's not too many. That's not too many players then.
And a striker, if you want to go like
wow.
whole 9 yards. Because I'm not being funny. And you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing a Lewis Dunk or something from Brighton back in a
That's a good show. That's a very good show.
Experience. And if you want to talk about someone other than Thiago Silva who can provide experience, know-how, strength, and power, there you go.
A very good show. Lewis Dunk.
No. Dunk pisses on Maguire, and you know that. I'll tell you what, if you want, I'll buy Varane off you. I'll take Varane off you because he's
already look. Proper bony kid, isn't he? Like,
no.
I'll take this off you.
I do coaching. I have done coaching myself, bro. So I have a appreciation for this myself because I used to coach under 10s. So like, I know like what I'm doing in terms of if I was going to build a squad, because I'm not being funny, right? Wesley Fofana's made of glass, so he needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Thiago Silva.
Is he on big wages, Fofana?
Bro, he's like 250 grand a week, bruv, and he ain't played a game in about a year.
He came from Leicester at a Harry Maguire price as well.
80 mil, yeah, exactly. And the guy hasn't played for over a year.
At least Maguire played football. He just played it crap.
And Abs, you know the worst thing about it, Abs? He had a long-term injury over last season. He was out for about 8 months last season, 6 months.
Yeah.
He came back at the beginning of the pre-season, then got another 8-month injury. And Ben Glass Chilwell, don't get me started with this guy, bruv. He'll play a game for half an hour, pull on another hamstring, and he's off again. And Reece James is getting the same. If he's not getting sent off, he's pulling his hamstring, and he's just constantly coming off. Like, this is a guy.
Is this a training thing? Is this a training issue?
No, I don't think so. I think it's been poor coaching because you've had too many chefs spoil the broth, bruv. We're the only team I know on record in any season that's had 5 coaches in one season. Tuchel, Lampard, Potter. Who was the other guy? He was
Lampard.
crap. Pardon?
Lampard.
No. The other guy. He was assistant coach and he took over after Potter left. What's his name, man? He took over for 2-3 games.
Oh, was it the Spanish guy?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. We had like 4 or 5 of them. Like, it was crazy, bruv. And every single one of them had different methods. I think it's just where the players have been pulled left. Okay, with the exception of Fofana, I do think there's a balancing act problem at Chelsea in terms of injuries. But luckily, like we've told bro, he's mad spending. There are good sides. I think Gusto's a good player. Cucurella can do a job. Cucurella can do a crap. He's a bit crap, but he can do a job against smaller teams. That's why I think we need a new left back. I wouldn't get me Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich.
Ooh.
That's a serious left back. Give me him on the left. There you go. I've got my Canadian Ashley Cole, bro. I'm blessed.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is the thing though with Chelsea though, and I don't want to talk too much on your team, is that although you guys got legacy and all of this kind of stuff, you lot need to be getting in because players, they're just going to come to you for the money. They're not going to come to you because, do you know what I mean? Because remember, you're in that phase again where you're like, maybe not this season, maybe not season. You might get a run that might put you in the Euros or something like that. But you're competing against it at the moment, and players are going to be looking at your club and thinking, "What? I ain't going to them." Do you know what I mean? They're in the bloody conference or something. Huh?
But people said the same thing about Caicedo. We finished 12th and we got Caicedo.
Yeah, but Caicedo wanted to leave, man. He wanted to leave his club. Yeah,
so talented players will still come to us, regardless if we finish 12th. Because I'm not being funny.
Yeah, I suppose so. But the Alphonso Davies, the Alphonso Davies, though, I don't think they will come to Chelsea.
That was a dream signing.
That's
a dream signing because he's arguably the best left back in the world, or one of them. Yeah. You can argue that he's top 10. I think we could. I'm not going to argue who's 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. But his name's in there somewhere. I think we can all agree on that because Bayern Munich are dumb good on their day. So,
to be fair, there's not actually a huge amount
to choose from.
Top level fullbacks just in general. I think same thing with wingers now. Wingers are going out of fashion for me. I think there's a lot more. I mean,
we're going to have no players on the pitch soon. You know what I mean?
Robots.
We're just going to have loads of. We're going to have loads of jack of all trades, master of nones everywhere.
Wait.
Thanks.
BT, what do you mean Chelsea could become the new United? Don't you mean Man United are going to become the new Chelsea? Are you crazy?
Triggered.
No, I'm not triggered. I'm just asking because by that logic, you're trying to go through a takeover. We've just come out of one. Aren't you trying to be us? And unlike you guys, by the way, who United are completely fucked financially, and you're not even sure this deal with what's his face?
Radcliffe, Jimmy.
Who happens to be a Chelsea season ticket holder, by the way.
What?
Yeah, he owns a Chelsea season ticket, by the way. So remember, my club
tried to buy Chelsea as well. He literally last ditch tried to buy it.
So remember, my team holds yours by the bollocks like that. Remember that, yeah? And unlike your owner, my owner, in terms, on the pitch, it's not pretty. I'll admit that. But off the pitch and financially, my team is the most set team in the. Bro, we got 150 million coming in at the end of the season just from players that
Yeah,
we
these
burnt out.
guys are just the cells,
We are
man.
cakes, bro. In
Crazy,
terms of finances, we look at Arsenal and laugh. We look at Man United and laugh, and we look at Liverpool and laugh.
Hey, listen, hold on. Arsenal ain't a poor team, mate. Yeah,
I know that. But you're not set up how we are set
The
up.
amount they fleece
No,
the fans
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Nah,
I get that.
bro. I tell you what, I don't like Todd Bro in the way he's done it, but as a businessman, and I've said this before, in terms of he's had to rip apart the Abramovich model because it's dodgy in whatever respect it is. But in terms of what he's building, all right, it's not pretty on the pitch, but as a business, Chelsea are set. They've got they've got sponsorship deals worth hundreds of millions lined up for the next 6-7 years because that's how he's done it with all these other clubs and sports franchises like in baseball and all that, and in basketball. He knows exactly what he's doing. Don't get me wrong.
Hold on. Can I hold on a second. Are we still in the Chelsea segment now? Like about
no.
I was
talking about boards.
We're gonna come to Arsenal in just a moment.
I wasn't talking about Chelsea, but I was talking about the boards and how the boards have like gone about things. That's all I'm talking. I'm not talking about players.
So what you got to say about Big T then? Is should he wish he was like you guys then?
No, I'm saying that you're becoming us in the sense of you're going through a takeover process. And you're now going to get out to the point where the infrastructure is going to be gutted because Radcliffe is coming over to reformat the football side of Manchester United, right or wrong? Right.
That's what we're thinking he's going to do.
Right, because just like with the Abramovich process, the said process on the pitch became unsustainable, correct? Right.
Yeah, but he's going to put money into the club, isn't
he? Yeah. No, it's not about money. I'm talking about the infrastructure of the club.
Yeah.
Because of whatever way it's been fucked up and demolished. Because of the way it's been fucked up and demolished, you're gonna have to build it and gut it from scratch. Because both
and that takes money, doesn't it? That takes money.
Yeah. But it also takes infrastructure. 1 minute, boys. I'm just gonna go mute because I'm gonna talk to my missus.
Yeah.
I'll say what we'll do as
well. No more about Chelsea. I don't really want to talk about because they buy everyone anyway. So who cares about Chelsea, man?
1 billion spent, man, and man, they spend 1 billion. They might as well have purchased it on a hospital wing.
That's what I mean. It's just like, and the thing is, you know, the crazy thing is as well with Chelsea as well. Yeah, is that they're just, you know how malicious they are. Yeah, they're just going to target players that other teams want. So it'd be a case of like, let's go for Osimhen or something like that. Yeah, Chelsea be like, oh no, we're going to slap like 200 million on him just to get him. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's ridiculous with Chelsea now in when it comes to like buying players now because they're always just going to be about, aren't they? You know, and it depends on whether that player wants to go to them or not, innit? So
I'll tell you one thing that you could probably do just to absolutely take the piss out of Chelsea is if that is the way that they go about doing business to actually just like try and pick off top targets for other Premier League rivals. It's if all the other rivals collude together to go after really shite targets for like £100 million price points for someone who's not even worth 20.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea are like, I have 120, come to us. This guy scores he's got a goals record of like 5 goals in the past 5 years or something. Like about Weghorst. Chelsea signed Weghorst from bloody Burnley or wherever it is he's currently at. For like £100 million because Man City, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, all of these clubs were bidding for £100 million plus for
that would just
be it would be absolutely hilarious. It would be a complete piss take, and honestly, I wouldn't even know what to think about football anymore if that is any truth to that whatsoever. It's just that out of left field. But you know what? We'll jump onto Arsenal. I mean, we don't want to really talk about United that much longer. I've already talked about it enough, or we've already talked about it long enough today. But Arsenal, being towards the top end of the table, hot on Liverpool's heels, Aston Villa on your heels, Man City still trying to figure out what the hell they're doing half the time, Tottenham Hotspur thinking they're going to win the league after every single win that they get. What do Arsenal need with this current squad? What do they need to get themselves over the edge? Because we had this conversation in the summer about what does Arteta need to do to get
Sorry about
that
that. The
Arsenal
missus is
team.
drunk. Sorry about
Understandable.
I don't know.
I got. I fucking love you down the phone and everything.
But yeah, what from the summer where we saw Arsenal not quite enough to win the Premier League, we spoke about it back then. What does that Arsenal team need to make sure you don't bottle it? Would you say that your squad is any closer right now to bridging that gap than it was, say, before any signings were made in the summer? Would you say
No.
you're closer?
No,
So that you're closer
no.
from your point there. What would you say Arsenal do need from this point to be able to bridge that gap?
So I think we need like another like right forward or right winger, so to speak. We need someone that's going to challenge Saka, and I think that person is probably going to be like a Neto type player. If we were spending big money, then it would be Neto. And you're not probably thinking, well, yeah, Saka's always gonna be like the main guy, but no. Saka needs competition, and the thing is, yeah, what's the point of just having players that subs that are just not that good and are not going to challenge first teamers? What's the point? There's no competition then, isn't it? If you're going to have like someone, and then there's the argument of, oh, that guy probably wouldn't come to the team because of first team opportunities, but you're asking me like, what do we need? And he's the type of player that I think we need, you know what I mean, in terms of like challenging Saka, because I think Saka's at a point now where he knows he's going to play every game. Yeah, he knows, there's no one good enough on that wing that can challenge him. I think a Neto will cause issues to him. I think a Neto, on his day, he's just as good or even better than Saka. Neto's a serious player, so someone like that on the right. I think up top. See, you can also argue that up front or in the number 9 position, someone like a Tony, Osimhen, a Boniface, that type of player I think we need. So a forward, a right-sided forward. And I think, you know what, I think we need also like a centre-back as well, because if anything happens to Saliba, we're down to bare bones, man. We're down to real bare bones, because Kivior's not that great. Ben White, I suppose, can do a job, but then we're losing something on the right-hand side, because Tomiyasu, I think he's injured as well at the moment as well. So I think, 3 players. I would take a forward, right. Oh my gosh, we've got Timber anyway. Timber's to come back, so I'm not going to worry about him. I think Havertz for now, he can have that 8 position, even though I would prefer someone better. But he can have that position for now. Partey's coming back to full fitness, so if he were to go, then a Douglas Luiz to step in as well. So as much as like Arsenal, we're still second and we're still competing, we've got some problems there that are mostly long-term problems, maybe not like short-term right now, but in the future, you've got the AFCONs, you've got the Asia Cup as well. Players are going to go away. They probably might get injured as well. Partey's got to go. Tomiyasu's going. Who else is going? I don't know if there's any other.
Maybe El Neni.
Maybe
El Neni is, but El Neni hardly plays anyway. But
that's bad squad management in itself, though.
Huh?
If he's not going to, that's bad squad management in itself. Because if he's not going to play, why be there? Just get rid
Yeah,
of
exactly. He was out injured for a long time as well. He's not a bad squad player. No matter what everyone takes the piss out of
I
him.
like
Anyway.
Anelli.
He's a good squad player, mate. He
I
does
like
the
him.
job. He does what it says on the tin. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He does what it says on the tin. He's not a bad player. But yeah, I think the main player we need, yeah, if we weren't to get a right forward, is a number 9. Jesus, for me, as good as he is, he's not a killer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he can play on the wing or whatever, but he's not a killer. We need a number 9 that's just like shoots on sight, isn't scared. You know what I mean? That's the type of player we need. But yeah, that's me.
Would you say with Gabriel Jesus, he's like a striker that, like with Arsenal's Aubameyang Lacazette partnership? Do you reckon Jesus would, if you wanted to see a better Gabriel Jesus, that you already need to have a striker partner to sort of feed off of and work as dynamic in that sense to see a better Gabriel Jesus? Or do you think it's just what his qualities are? It's just not quite what Arsenal.
He's not a goal scorer.
The thing is, Gabriel's probably better on the right side or left hand side. He's not a natural goal scorer. Yes, he can score the odd nice goal and stuff like that, but he's not a natural. He's not natural what he does. The position he takes up as well on the pitch as well. You might see him in defence. You might see him in midfield. Yeah, you see him in all other positions except for the bloody number 9 position. You know.
But the thing is,
Arsenal don't play with partners, so I don't know what you're talking about. Strike partners, yeah. It's not. We don't play with a 2. So I was like talking about Jesus was a great as a 2 with Aguero, needs a strike partner. Jesus used to play on the right for Man City.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. Why don't you do what Man City used to do and allow him to play in from the right like someone else?
Well, I would listen if we weren't buying a winger. I'm sorry, if we weren't buying
buy a striker
winger, I would put Jesus on the right and I'll buy a forward. I would do that. Jesus McTominay, big T man, he's flipping taking a piss, isn't he?
Yeah, can't get Martial.
Nah, mate.
No.
He'll get injured like signing the bloody contract.
Yeah, I'll agree with.
You do a hammy doing the contract.
The only thing is, I think you guys need an extra central midfielder as well. Because I'm not being funny. Okay, beyond Rice, I'm not being disrespectful. I don't trust Jorginho.
No.
Hearts will get out muscled in the midfield, and Odegaard is Gibraltar guard or Ghost guard, however you want to call him.
No, it's true. It's true. I will take a number 8. I'll take a number 8, but give me a number 8. Give me a good example of who's. Do you know what? I would take Ramsey, mate. Jacob Ramsey. I'll take him from Villa. I think he's decent. You
just said about Luiz as well,
or Zubamendi as well.
What about thingy? Onana from Everton.
I like him, but I just think he's a little bit clumsy on the ball, man. I just think he's a bit too clumsy.
If you partner with him with a Rice and let him just be a ball winning midfielder, I do think you could probably have a use for him.
Maybe.
But he'll be as useful as about Douglas Luiz anyway, in terms of like.
But who's the one at Real Madrid? I prefer it, the one at Real Madrid. Who's the one?
Chouameni. Chouameni?
Is that him?
The French guy, the 24-year-old.
Yeah, the guy from Monaco.
Yeah. You're not getting him for anything less than 150 million. If Madrid would sell, to forget that. Forget you're in dreamland. That's like saying, do you guys want to buy Haaland? Forget it. Just unless there's a big, massive problem between the next coach and Chouameni, mate, he ain't going nowhere. He's already won 2 Champions League.
Camavinga.
Camavinga, I love that player.
He's a decent player, but I think Chouameni's better than him, to be fair. But, I wouldn't mind a slobber slide from Liverpool right now. I think you guys need to kind of like a slobber slide that could replace Xhaka.
For me, I think there is an element to Arsenal's team that I feel like with their midfield is currently sat in an imbalanced state. I still think the persistence of Kai Havertz and Odegaard in the same starting lineup is not right. It's not quite right.
Balance. Yeah, the balance.
I think somebody that is good enough to stick Havertz on the bench. Someone that's good enough to bench Havertz. I think Odegaard is probably going to be better for you long term than Kai Havertz will be. And I think he's got a better integration with this Arsenal team. For me, I think what you need is to put Odegaard back into a more centric spot with that more like world-class midfield. Well, not world-class, but a better balanced midfield where you've got someone like a Declan Rice, who, a fantastic player, but have someone very, very solid and, good balance, good ball carrier, and, does that position quite well and allows Odegaard to be more central, closer to
that's what Partey does. That's what Partey, and that's what Partey actually does. He allows Odegaard to actually have more freedom, in all positions.
And I think with that sort of midfield position, if Thomas Partey is not going to be sticking around for much longer, you need someone that's like a Thomas Partey or plays the midfield roles in a similar way to Thomas Partey. And one person that you haven't replaced yet somehow is Granit Xhaka, believe it or not.
Oh yeah. No,
he hasn't been replaced. So if you get someone in to replace a Granit Xhaka, you can restore somewhat of that balance in midfield. So that improves the midfield control for your team. So if you've got better balance, better control in games, perhaps your strike force will become more beneficial to it. Maybe Martinelli starts to get better results. Saka, I mean, as much as he's got a lot of goal contributions this season with Bukayo Saka, could he have even more? Someone like Gabriel Jesus might get more chances per game to find the back of the net. Now, he's probably not going to change the fact that you still need another striker, a clinical number 9. But yeah, it for Arsenal, there's still the problems that they needed to fix in the summer. They've still got there. I think starting off early this season with Arteta changing things around and moving players into different positions, changed an entire sort of balance. I think a mentality about the team as well, because the intensity left the team at the start of this season and has not come back since. We've seen murmurings of it with some high-scoring games, like Arsenal have had a few times in the Champions League. I was about to say Europa League then, but in the Champions League, you've had games where you've scored quite well. So it's like, what do you reckon? Say with this team, what should Arteta do to get more of what you were doing last season back? And do you think he can do it with the squad he has?
That's a very good question, man. That's a very good question. I've got to think I really had to think about that question. I think he can. I think Arteta at times does overthink things. So obviously, Partey when we started the league, first game, Partey was like playing right back. I think we need to go back to how we were playing before in terms of like Partey in the DM position, maybe Rice playing in the 8, and Odegaard in the middle. And maybe we might see probably a different team, because I think we're a bit more pragmatic now. We're more solid at the back in terms of like, we're not just gung-ho and just throw everything, throw the kitchen sink at teams. We're a little bit better defensively, but even though I'm saying that, we have conceded some goals in the last couple of games.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that perhaps you are more, defensively structured, better. But I think the downside to you still conceding goals might be to do with the fact with your possession-based, approach, you're turning over the ball way more often now. So you're getting more turnovers of possession You're getting caught out in transition a lot more often, whereas last season you held onto the ball really well. You recycled possession.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. You're right about that. Yeah.
Now you're essentially playing a bit more of a back and forth, swings and roundabouts kind of game.
But that's because they stopped playing a double pivot, like Bant said. That's because it used to be Partey and Xhaka, and when Arsenal had the ball, Xhaka would go up and join the attack, but Partey would cover. Now you're seeing a situation where you don't have that balance and understanding. It's Odegaard and Kai Havertz 9 times out of 10 in front of Rice, and Rice is doing what Cancelo was doing.
And Odegaard seems to be doing more work, coming back, Doing
but that's not where you want Oda though.
You don't want him to be there. You don't want him to be
in pockets. You don't want him to come deep to get the ball because he's like a Modric, Luka Modric. You want him in the pockets around like the box where he can find the little gaps. He can get the ball around the corner. That wasn't Xhaka's game, and that wasn't that's because that's the dirty jobs, like if you want to call them that, were done by Xhaka and by Partey. Like you said, Partey would carry the ball, and Xhaka would be that extra man in attack where he could even contribute with a goal every now and then as well. But he had the technical ability where he could do it. He could get an assist, or he could score a goal, or he could he had that know-how where he could keep the move flowing. Havertz and Odegaard can't do that, and Rice can't do it a pivot on his own. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right. I also think as well, just to finish off on this Arsenal topic, I also think that we've become a bit predictable as well. We play through the wings. We play through the wings all the time. We hardly ever attack through the center. And once it goes out to the wings, it's just going to be just like Martinelli cut in, look up. Oh, there's nothing there. Pass the ball, then the same recycle. Same with Saka as well. Maybe Saka might whip a beautiful ball in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, in swinger, and might score. But apart from that, we've become very predictable. And all you need to do is just put two defenders on our wingers, and it's just a long day. We've got no one in the box that's really going to challenge in the air apart from Havertz now. And he's not the greatest, I would say, like attacking the ball in the air. Do you know what I mean? To like
poach though. Poach. I like that. He has got a goal at his boot. The problem is him. Like I said to you before, we've had this conversation before. He doesn't do it enough. Yeah. Oh, big up, Lady McDuff in the chat. Big up, Lady.
Who's twin? That twin. I know that name.
I don't
know. It might be in your chat.
I'm sure I know Twin. I'm sure Twin is my mate. I'm sure it is.
How you doing, ma'am? You right? Hope you've had a good Saturday. Hope always good. Little one's right. Yeah, you might have done. But I do think Arsenal, I think they need a couple of more players yet. But the thing is, I think the main problem with Arsenal is you need to find a way to sell the players you've got though, because they've got that. I'm not sure how true this was, but that financial taboo with how much they can actually spend because of the way they have wasted a lot of money. Arsenal, they really have
a lot of released expired contracts
and all this kind of jazz. Because that's one thing as a selling club, Arsenal were the worst in the Premier League.
Oh mate,
by far the worst. By far the worst. You don't get no money for your players. You practically paid Barcelona to take Aubameyang off you.
We're a joke. We're a joke when it comes to that.
The thing is, Havertz is not a bad player, but he's not a main man, and that's the problem. When you pay a £65 million signing or a £70 million signing went to us, you're not paying that for a squad, man. You want a guy that's going to be leading the line. Now, one thing I like about Kai Havertz is he has got a bit of ability all round. He can be a bit technical. He can be a bit physical.
What's that? Read that. What's that thing there, Fuzz? What's that Duff saying?
Got a news notification about a statement for Arsenal, but didn't have time to read it. Anything important? I do not know of any statement.
I don't know. FA statement news. Oh no, wasn't that about the
Arteta being the best looking?
That's the Arteta thing, isn't it? That was the Arteta got away. They couldn't charge him, could they, or something like that? Because
the misconduct thing when he got sent off the other day. in the stands. All right. Fair enough. So it pumped my coupon. So it pumped your coupon again. Oh, poor Rosie. You know, I swear, man, she'd be one of those that you're always gonna find her in the betting shop. Like, fuck Celtic. And that's a Rangers.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they lost 2-0 to Hearts.
Bro, Rangers fan relying on Celtic. Work that out.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's karma. They don't like you. Work it out. They don't like you.
I love Big T, man. Big T doesn't mess about, man. Big T's just like straight up.
Disgrace means something different in Spanish. Disgrace. It's a disgrace, guys. Disgrace.
That's Lee Gunner, though.
All I've got to say is to Big T, tactics. Tactic.
No. I want to be like Arteta, man. I want to conquer my wife. Like, not woo her, not like engage her, not romance. I want to conquer her. Like what?
Oh, that sounds a bit freaky, bro.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. You have a body, 50 Shades of Arteta, bro. 51
Mate,
Shades of Arteta.
I want to be, when I get to like my 50s or 60s, to be like Arteta, where I can just sit there on morning coffee and talk about how I drove my car from point A to point B. Like, name all the roads I drove down. Name the little bald kid crossing the road on his BMX bike at traffic lights. And so, conversations like that. Why you went on with that?
God, hang on, Rosie. What was your bet, by the way? Was it like 10p to get like 17 accumulate? Fuck it. How many? What was it worth? Just tell me how much it was worth. Because I bet you any money it was like a stupid one. Like she bet 20p on some bad mad result. 17 teams. Jesus. Say Jesus. As my nan would say. Say Jesus.
Knowing my luck with betting, I managed to break how things work. I'll probably bet like £1 on like 17 bets and end up making like a £1,000 loss or something somehow.
Dude, I hate my friend Tom. Fuzzy, I hate my friend Tom. Like 2 weeks ago, he bet 50p on an accumulator. The twat won 700 quid.
Ooh. Playing a safe bet, low stakes, high reward.
You know what I mean? Man did a proper Ric Flair. He's like, woo! I was like, what's wrong with you? I just won 700 quid. I was just like, how much did you bet? He went 50p. And then I went, woo! For him. And I was like, well, that's a good bet. Like,
imagine if he just got absolutely pissed off his rocker board and accidentally, instead of 50p, accidentally betted £50.
You know what?
70,000.
If I could put £50 in anything, right? If I could go back and put £50 in any bet, it would be 100 quid on Leicester to win the league. Oof. When they won it. Oof. Can you imagine how much you would have got back? That would have been like 1,000 to 1 or something back. That would have been sweet. But big up, Kudos. And yes, Rosie, we did hear about Lockwood. We did. We spoke about it. We spoke about Tomboy. Daddy's all right. Daddy's all right.
Yeah, it's Kudos.
Big up, Kudos.
Anyways, guys, we're probably going to wrap the show up there before we end up going into Sunday. We're about 6 minutes away from that, so we best wrap it up and finish things off there. Big ups everybody in the chat. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. I see we are up to 130 subscribers, so we have hit another milestone. Let's push for 140 now. So on to the next 10. We are slowly but surely getting up to Jez's predicted or target for this channel of 250 before Christmas. Not too sure how we're going to manage to...
You'll breeze it. You'll breeze it, mate. You got 6 days. You'll breeze it. Come on. 6
days to essentially almost double my entire subscriber count. But, you know, it's can't say... Never say never.
Never say never. Everyone's going to be at home, so you don't know.
Yeah, do an Aussie, bro. You can do it, Fuzzy. Bite his freaking head off.
You can do it if you really want.
But you must
be the potato, guys.
Try it.
Be the potato, guys.
That's Chelsea, man. Chelsea.
Like, that's all Chelsea. Oh, sorry. No, just different tones.
Did you hit I heard right. I heard the fans chanting for Nkunku whilst you're sat on the bench. They went at something like this. I think Chelsea, Chelsea,
Oh, thank you.
Chelsea. Chelsea.
We'll see. We'll see.
And
We'll
Nkunku
see.
really felt
We'll
the laugh
see.
there.
Hang on. Can I just ask you a question? Okay, name that film, everyone. And do you feel lucky? Well, do you?
Can't remember
I
the
don't
name of
know,
it,
man.
but I've heard of that.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember. Pulp
43
Fiction?
A 43 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. I know what you're thinking. Did I fire 5 or did I fire 6? Si's got it. Well done. No. He's doing fine, Rosie. Tom's doing all right. He's in hospital and he's recovered. And yes, it was Dirty
Yeah.
Harry. Well done, sir. And Si
Well,
was lucky. He was spot on. But I promised Rosie I'd do an impression the other day, which I didn't do, so I'm making up for it now. The only other one I can quickly do is like, Joe Horst, you want to play rough? Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
You all know who that
well,
is.
that's Scarface.
Yeah, that's Tony Montana.
Yeah, Tony
That didn't
Montana.
hurt. That didn't hurt. That didn't look
Stand up, my little friend.
man's got
All right,
blood.
what's this one? What's this one? Right side, Clyde.
No idea.
What? That's not Bonnie and Clyde, is it?
Right side, Clyde.
I heard it, but I can't remember.
Oh,
God.
do you know what?
What century is that from?
That was 90s.
No, it's the same. It's the same movie. Dirty Harry's Clint Eastwood, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's,
Oh no!
he's-
Was that what? Was it Magnum Force?
No, it's not Magnum Force.
Because you had Magnum Force, Dirty Harry, and what was the third one? Because he done 3, didn't he?
Yeah, it's Any Which Way You Can.
Any which way. Okay. I knew that was a Clint Eastwood movie. But I thought it was a 90s one. I thought that might have been even Gran Torino. That's a bad man film, by the way.
Oh, that's a wicked film, mate. That's a wicked film. Yeah, any which way but lose.
That's the one. Every which way but lose. Oh, dear.
Kudos says I'm on 20 subs with my first video. Don't know if that's good or not.
Big up
Especially
to
if it's a channel that's not really being endorsed by anybody and it's literally just off a single upload,
Raging Bull.
first channel and everything, right? That's good. 20 subs with just a single video for your first upload. That's good.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It is.
That's
Thumb
brilliant.
up to Kudos, by the way. He's one of
Yeah.
our little community.
Now
Big up him.
people start going and subscribing to Kudos.
Please.
Go sub
Good lad.
to that channel. I'll tell you what, the first video he popped out, his music editor, the music choice he's got in that's hilarious.
It is. Hang on,
But,
De Niro.
yeah,
De Niro. I'm sorry, finish what you're saying, but about De Niro when you finished it. Go on.
yeah, big ups to Kudos on that one. But to be honest, you might as well finish your point because I'm going to wrap up the.
Well, I was just about to say, like, you know, when it comes to Raging Bull, obviously that's one of the classics for what's his name again, Robert De Niro. But I was thinking, whenever I think of De Niro, I always just see him in Casino standing there with a cigarette. What's the matter with you? Like, what do you think? Sawdust? What do you think this is? A sawdust joint?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, this guy's an impressionist, man.
I got the phone call an hour later. I dug a hole in the desert. Could have been 50-50. You know what I mean? Like sorry. I love De Niro. He's one of my favorites, man. He was good.
Oh yeah, that's the question. Sorry. You didn't watch along tomorrow.
Possibly. Don't know if it'll be on my channel. Might be on someone else's channel if they're doing watch-alongs.
Right, okay.
But I am set to be out the afternoon because sister-in-law's birthday party.
Okay.
I think that's sort of earlier in the afternoon though, so I might be back.
This time tomorrow, Fuzzy will be cutting shapes, bruv.
Well, we hope so. If he's not, then he's going to be hiding. You know that, innit? He's going to be hiding.
Wait. Won't he have been impersonating a top club for the last 2 decades? How many Premier Leagues you got over the last 10 years? Try none.
Who's that?
Oh,
Who's that?
look. Been
Big
Chelsea
team.
been impersonating a top. Wait. How many European trophies have you got over the last 8-9 years? How many Premier Leagues you got? None. So
At least we've won a Europa. At least we've won a Carabao Cup.
Well,
You got a
I'm
Carabao
not
Cup,
out of this
yeah.
conversation, so I'm not getting involved.
No. You know what it is? Right, look, Man United were a big team. That's a small team now, pretending they're a big club. How about that?
Well,
I digress.
We're not even pretending to be a club at the moment.
You know what I mean? Like Player Power FC. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jadon Sancho. Oh, he bent his toe in training. Oh, let me go home and play Fortnite. I'll feel better. I don't believe that we're shit as well. I'm not. It's two badly polishing turds. That's what Chelsea and Man United are at the minute.
We're two rotten peas in a pod.
I'll tell you what, Big T, here's a card to be like, fucking hell, were we great once, mate? Yeah, man. FA Cup finals, Champions League, yeah, man. I mean, like that guy in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like one of those Asian guys.
Anyway, big up the chat, man. Wolf's on. He's turned into a werewolf now, so I think we're gonna have to like wrap up.
Yeah, we'll wrap up there, people. But so yeah, big ups to everybody in the chat. 8 likes as it stands on my playback. People might see more likes because YouTube again.
Come on, man, hit the like
button.
Get the likes.
Like
Get to the chopper. You need the likes. Listen to Fuzzy. He's a good man. You need to help him. Let go of him.
Stop whining.
Get to the chopper.
Stop whining.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the like chopper. Spin it round. Get it up in the air. Come on. You can do it. Sorry.
Can you do that, Eddie Murphy?
Get out of here, man. I ain't no Eddie Murphy.
This guy's good, man. This guy's good. We're going to have to get this some more impressions.
Hey, excuse me, man.
Can you do a Poch? Can you do a Poch impression?
Poch? Oh, damn. Yes, very well. I think the players work hard. When you see the quality on the pitch, they are trying. Yeah, you can't ask more from these.
He's quality, man. I can't believe it.
I just love Jose. He's a special one. Listen very closely. I'm the special one. I'm Jose. I have 3 titles. That's more than any of the other leagues.
In any of the other titles. 3 nipples. You do not see the third one.
You know
I show
I mean?
you 2, but I cannot. If I show you a third one, then big
you know what I mean?
Can you do a scouse?
Oh, get out of here, mate! What you talking about, son? Get out of here, mate! I don't know if I took me cheese there, Mark.
What are you doing, fucking little Weinstein?
Hey, excuse me, mate. You got any money? Can you give us some? Give us some of that money, mate.
You're fucking asking me for some money for you live in the fucking council house.
You're proper Southern now, darlings. Oh no.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap up there.
Press that button.
Hit the likes. Hit the subscribes.
Red
Make
button.
sure you also subscribe to Wolfgang Division and Football Bants TV. Links in the title. Make sure you get it done, people. But anyways, Wolfgang Division, shout your stuff out. What have you got coming up?
Well, hopefully I'll be doing another MMA interview next week with Leroy from the Fight Week show. Funny Australian guy. I call him a championship Roo fighter or a master of Kong Roo, as I like to call him, because he obviously he practiced by fighting kangaroos. This is what he said. Yeah, well, this is what he said. He does do mixed martial arts. All of the boys on the Fight Week show do, but I very much doubt he fights.
Kangaroo knock him out, man.
No, bro. No, kangaroos. They fight like Bruce Lee, bro. They go low and groin kicks. You know what I mean? Like because they sit on their tails, don't they? And they use their legs like how.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. I watched a guy get booted in the bollocks by a kangaroo, bro. He started barling, and I don't blame him. Like, I was like, bro, that was his day done, man. His day was finished. Yeah, but thanks everyone. Yeah, Wolfgang Division. I've got maybe another watch along next week, obviously for the Chelsea game. But yeah, look out for another interview from the Wolf Den.
That's man. And Abs, Football Bants channel, Football Bants TV. What have you got coming up, man?
I'm gonna be doing probably Arsenal watch along tomorrow with Tony, Claude,
and me.
Yeah, and we've got our Big Guns 4 probably tomorrow evening. I think 7 or 8 o'clock. All things Arsenal and probably a little bit of Premier League talk as well. And then, yeah, I'll probably do a review as well, probably to wrap up the whole weekend as well. So, yeah, that's what that's all I've got coming up now. Coming up next.
Nice. So, finishing up, 10 likes. We hit double figures, which is good. It's always good.
If you can get
As the
50
minimum.
people, please.
131 subscribers as well, so we've gained another one. Let's see, go. We're
You're
to
welcome.
140. It's on the ball.
Wait, did I get a subscribe? I'm not having this. How you lot going on?
Hey, I'm trying to get people to sub to you guys. I'm trying to get them to sub.
Thank you. One sub is another man's club.
Fair enough.
Anyway, before we leave, next time bring in the cherry 7-Up, yeah, for Fuzz as well, yeah. He likes cherry 7-Up.
Oh, here we go. I'll tell you what. I'll do something on the Monday night, and I'll invite plenty of people on because I can get lots of people on. I'll invite plenty of people on. If it's in complete hammering, I'll invite you, Wolf. I'll invite Football Bounce. I'll invite Tony. I'll invite Yeti. I'll invite Jez.
Yes,
Whoever the hell wants to come on with 7-Ups, whatever it is. If it's 7-Ups, maybe they'll come with like the magic 8 balls or something. If it's 8,
can I wear a mankini?
Just as long as you don't show nipples, then sure.
Ash Smash. I am the best looking guy on YouTube. Yes, my sister number 4 prostitute in all of Kazakhstan. Ash Smash.
But yeah, big ups everyone. Thank you very much for watching, and next time will be tomorrow after the game match reaction. So it'll be just me for match reaction, but you'll get. I'm sure we'll have then the bigger panel, the meaty stuff come on the Monday night. So keep your eyes peeled for that, people. Get the notifications switched on.
In the same sentence, man. Double pause.
What's that? Who's it?
He said that meaty stuff in the guys. I was like, pause, man.
Hey, yo.
Take a deep breath on that one.
Why you talk about me like that? Anyways, we're checking out people.
I never said it was a bad thing.
We're checking out now, people.
I'm going to sleep.
Take care, everybody. All the best, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then,
Please.
bye.
Bye-bye.